Year 1998, a study was conducted at Columbia University by Professor Claudia M. Mueller. As part of her research, students in 5th grade were given numerous puzzles to solve on their own by the teacher. The study aimed to investigate the impact of puzzle solving on students' problem-solving abilities and cognitive development. The puzzles varied in difficulty levels and were designed to challenge the students' critical thinking skills. These were difficult puzzles, but regardless of how well each child performed, he or she was told that they scored very well, that they performed better than the majority of the other children. Following that, half of these students were told that their high scores were due to their hard work, while the other half were told that their high scores were due to their intelligence and talent. The researchers were interested in examining whether students' perceptions of their success would affect their future motivation and approach to challenges. In the next step, children were given 3 types of puzzles to complete: easy ones, medium difficulties, and extremely challenging ones. And what they found was very interesting. Students who were informed that their intelligence was the reason behind their success mostly focused on the simple puzzles. They spent almost no time on the most difficult puzzles, and much less time overall trying to solve any of the puzzles. This was a sign of lower levels of motivation. Also, when asked if they liked the experiment, they said it wasn't very fun. That's really interesting because it goes against the idea that smart people are motivated to do hard things. This result suggests that people who think their intelligence is the most important thing for success tend to avoid situations that could make them question or even threaten how they see themselves. On the other hand, this was not the conclusion. The most important outcome was still to come. Following this particular examination, the researchers headed to the next group. The students in this group were informed that they had performed well because they had put in a lot of effort and had spent the majority of their time concentrating on the more difficult puzzles. Also, as a sign of increased motivation, they spent a lot more time trying to solve any of the puzzles. And to top it all off, after the experiment, they said that they actually enjoyed the entire experience. So what can we learn from this study? Well, there's a concept known as the Locus of Control, which is essentially the degree to which you believe you have control over your life. The children who are told that they were successful because they were intelligent and gifted were led to believe in a concept that is known as an external locus of control. You are correct in assuming that they were led to believe that the reason they did well was due to factors that were beyond their ability to control. You have no control over whether or not you were born with intelligence. On the other hand, the children were told that they had achieved success because they had put in a lot of effort and had begun to believe in something that is known as an internal locus of control. It was their belief that the outcomes they experienced were the result of factors that they had control over. They were able to achieve success on the puzzles as a result of their diligent work and the additional effort that they put in, right? Because the amount of effort that you put into something is something that you have full control over. Research on the locus of control, such as the one presented here, has repeatedly demonstrated that the ability to maintain motivation is directly proportional to one's ability to have an internal locus of control. If you want to feel motivated all the time, you need to firmly believe that you're in charge of your life and that you are accountable for the events that take place in your life. Having an internal locus of control means taking responsibility for your actions and believing that you have the power to make positive changes. By recognizing that you are in control of your own destiny, you can cultivate a mindset that fuels motivation and drives you towards success. Remember, motivation is not something that happens to you, but rather something that comes from within. When I was in charge of a sales team back in the day, I witnessed this event with my own eyes from the very beginning. These were not sales of automobiles or retail goods. This was a traditional door-to-door sales approach, which is known to have one of the highest rates of employee turnover. You need to be an extremely motivated individual to be able to face hundreds and hundreds of rejections every single day before someone even considers purchasing something from you. The majority of people only last a week before giving up, so you need to be able to do this. Through experience, I was able to determine which individuals would actually stand the test of time and who I should devote more time and effort to. All I had to do was ask a simple question. So when I first started a business and assembled a sales team of highly motivated individuals, I used to do a simple exercise when a new salesperson on my team was confronted with their first bad day, a day in which they made no sales. I would ask them, "Why do you think you made no sales today?" And I would observe their reaction. If individuals attribute their failures to factors such as weather conditions, the weekend, or the nature of the neighborhood, it becomes evident that they possess an external locus of control. Consequently, it is highly likely that they would not be able to endure in such circumstances. They think that they couldn't make any sales because of things that were out of their control. This meant they didn't spend as much time knocking on doors, which was the real reason they weren't making any sales. That's the bad thing about having a control center outside of yourself. People stop working and trying when they think that nothing they do matters. After all, what's the point of trying when everything is against you? So, how do we develop an internal locus of control in order to feel motivated all of the time? In any case, they discovered that the most effective method for accomplishing this is to first solve problems that are present in one's own life, and then to pause for a while and acknowledge the fact that it was one's own actions that led to the resolution of the issue. Let me illustrate this point with an example. Let's imagine you are someone who has trouble going to sleep. This can help clarify the situation. So you go out and do some research, and you find out that if you get some extra sunshine in the morning, if you exclusively use your bed for sleeping, and if you put a blue light filter on your phone, then any of these things should significantly boost your capacity to sleep faster. When it is time for you to go to bed, you do all of those things, and you discover that you are starting to sleep 15 minutes earlier than you were before. You need to tell yourself, "Wow, it was because of the changes I made and because of the effort I put in that I am now able to sleep better." When you observe this improvement, you need to mention this to yourself. This is how easy it is. Instill in yourself the conviction that you are the master of your own fate, that you own an internal locus of control, and that you will never again struggle with a lack of drive in your life. By acknowledging and celebrating your progress, you reinforce the belief that you have the power to make positive changes. Embrace the mindset that every step forward is a testament to your determination and potential for growth, allowing yourself to confidently navigate any challenges that may come your way. If you keep practicing this exercise and consistently remind yourself of your capabilities, you will gradually build a strong sense of self-confidence and resilience. With time, you will find that achieving your goals becomes more effortless and fulfilling as you continue to cultivate a mindset of empowerment and self-motivation.